Greetings to you from the old city of Jerusalem, where I am this morning on a Friday in November. And I wanted to send my warm greetings to you, friends, wherever you are today. Our world is going through many challenges because of the virus pandemic, because of political unrest, so many causes of suffering and loneliness. And we here at St. George's want to carry your pain too, and we pray for you, and we pray that God's grace will sustain us through these difficult times. And I wanted to bring a message from Jerusalem. I'm standing on the Via Dolorosa, the Way of Sorrows, which visitors to Jerusalem will know is a part of the pilgrim journey to walk at some point on their pilgrimage, the Way of the Cross. And the Way of the Cross is 14 stations which trace the last moments of Jesus' life, from his condemnation, taking his cross, and then walking through the streets of Jerusalem to Golgotha, where he dies. And those 14 stations, which mark the suffering of Jesus as he carried his cross, can be traced by anyone who comes to the city. And sometimes it's just people on their own walking in a prayerful time. Other times it's large groups that walk this way, stopping as they go at each station to hear a relevant reading, to say a prayer, to remember the suffering of Jesus Christ for us. And it is a reminder that suffering is an inevitable part of our life, but that through suffering, by the grace of God and by the goodness of God, though that suffering can be transfigured and turned into a time of learning, of growth, of a discovery that a peace which passes all human understanding. And so as we walk this short way, I wanted to come to one of my favourite places in the old city, which is on a corner of a street on the Via Dolorosa. It's actually at the 5th station, and this being a Friday, in normal times before the pandemic, this route would be full of people of all faiths actually, because here on this junction, it's a place where, especially on Friday, but any day, Muslims will make their way to Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is down in that direction, and Jews will make their way to the Western Wall, and they can go in that direction too, or they can walk up this way towards the Western Wall, which is a place where hundreds and hundreds of Jewish people gather for their prayers daily, but especially on a Friday at the start of Shabbat. But in these days, we are still not back to normal, because there are no pilgrims to add to that throng of people, because on this route Christians will be walking their way on the Via Dolorosa. And here is the 5th station. And the 5th station, some will remember, is the point in Jesus' painful journey with the cross where he stumbles, and Simon of Cyrene is here to carry his cross for him, to share the load. And here there is a stone worn away by hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of hands which have touched it, remembering perhaps that Jesus here might have reached out to steady himself as he fell. And here there is a small chapel, the doors of which are shut at the moment, because we are still very much not back to normal. And the shops are largely shut because there are no pilgrims here to buy the goods and the souvenirs, although daily business does go on, as it always does in Jerusalem, because it's a busy city and rubbish needs to be collected, and goods do need to be bought to sustain daily life. But here, by the fifth station, we remember that, like Simon of Cyrene, we're all called to follow Christ and to share the pain of others who are going through times of difficulty. And so I invite you, as I'm sure you are already, to look around you and to see those who need your prayers, who need your practical care, so that in these days when we are finding it hard to go about normal business, we don't forget to do the normal business of caring for one another. So I send this with my prayers to you for peace, for hope, for fortitude, and remembering that in whatever suffering we experience, whatever loneliness we know, Christ has been there too. He knows our pain, and he stands with us, for us, and calls us to him that he may carry our load too. Thank you. And I send this with all God's blessings to you wherever you are.